Hey, I'm just figuring this thing out. So it goes like this, I guess. Trying to figure it out. I just got this thing back up, the phone and whatnot. So I'm attempting to set it so it can work properly for me. I'd like to go do some live shows because I want to hear what people have to say and stuff. And I've been on some live shows, like talking with people, and they are basically ill-mannered and rude for the most part, especially the colored people. And they are immersed in their racism. I never saw, I mean, like, I've been staying out of the public personally. Like being in public. The public has a public mind, and the public mind is insane. So I stay out of the public. They have stuff like television and social media telling them what's real, what's not real, what to do, what not to do, what to think, what not to think. So I can't deal in all that. Otherwise, I'd be crazy too, like most people are. Most people don't even know they're crazy. They think this shit is normal. So they don't know insanity. Because the insanity was let out into the streets. They took it out of the insane asylums. They closed all the insane asylums, all the mental health stuff like that, and just put all that crazy right into the street. Now it's like every day crazy out in the street. They tell you what to think about. They tell you what to talk about. Tell you what's on your mind. Tell you what's available, and then you stay right in that little box and think you free, think you anything. Mm-hmm. So the easiest way, the best way, it's truly the best and easiest way to to keep a slave, is to make the slave think they're free. Whatever you have to do, just tell them they're free. Shit, that might work. You free, even though the conditions and stuff haven't changed, still enslaved conditions. But you tell them they're free, and if you tell them enough, long enough, they'll probably believe you. They'll believe something after a while. Whatever you tell them. But if you can convince a slave that they're free, you're done. So that's where I'm at. Are you convinced that you're free, even under enslaved conditions? Did you free yourself? That's my biggest question. Always. Did you free yourself? Who freed you? If you didn't free yourself, you ain't free. Somebody allowed you, gave you some allowance. That's all that is. You ain't free. Till you free yourself. Learn that young in life, you have to free yourself. No one else can free you. No one will. No one can. So, if you want to be free, free yourself. And then you got to know what free is, because you never experienced it. Yeah, when you're born in a prison, prison is your home. That's all you know. You can grow up, live, have prison culture. You just call it culture, though, because it's prison and it's yours. So you just refer to it as culture. It's our culture here in prison. You don't have to add that part. And that's what's going on. We're born in prison. Look at the situation. You're being treated. First of all, grown men ain't supposed to be treated by another, you know, man. Grown men should behave toward each other, not treat each other. Oh, he treat me like this. Just saying that makes me sound effeminate. I can't say it. Oh, they treat me so bad. Look how they treat us. I just feel real effeminate saying that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do it. Nobody can treat me. You behave, I behave, there you go. Y'all gonna get into that treat me thing. Who treats you like that? Well, how does he treat you? I'm a grown man. He don't treat me no way. How does he behave? I can tell you how he behaves, but how he treats me, fuck him. I ain't into that. If you're into that, then I question your manhood. You should question your manhood. Anybody should question. Everybody should question your fucking manhood. You stand around talking about how you treated, how you are treated by who? A man? It's a lot of stuff we talk, a lot of stuff that's talked to us in a lot of ways we're put in positions and stuff that make us weak, man. Like somebody treating us. Look how they treat us. That's a weak position, man. Your positioning is weak. I'd be attempting to get people to have grow a stronger position, but you know, people have to do their thing, man. People have to do their thing. And then, just on the tip, because I had just thought about it, I'm sitting here smoking herb, everything, whatever. You can smoke cigarettes, smoke herb, smoke whatever you want to smoke. Or don't smoke it, it really don't matter. But, you know, the grownness of a people, that's what we're talking about today. Are the people grown or are they minors? And if you're minors, you're a minority. If you're a minority, you're a child. And if you're a minor, you're a child. And people do treat you and rule you and tell you what to do and stuff like that. Grow up. That's what I always say, grow up. I hear guys 50, 60, 40, 50 years old right now. I don't know if they're 60. I see some 60, 65 already. They've never grown up. They're still children in their mind because they're being treated. They never became men. They say they grown as men. But they don't behave like men. They behave like big boys because they can be treated, and they recognize a man over them. Anytime a man recognizes another man over him, he has just diminished himself to a capacity of a child. Are you a child? You're a grown man. Especially, I just be frank. I be saying niggas, man. Like I see niggas all over the earth. And all over the earth, niggas are doing badly. On a general scale, not individually. I ain't talking about that. Individually, I see people doing well, and I'm happy to see it. Especially happy to see people do well. We have to realize that our weakest link is our strongest concern. We can't have all these weak links all over the place. When we doing well, like when I'm doing well, I give away stuff because I'm doing well. I make sure people who are around me are doing at least as well or near as well as I am. We have to keep that up. If I'm the only one doing well, everybody else doing badly, what the hell am I doing? That's some kind of crazy stuff. Everybody has to do well. So when I'm doing well, I make sure I bring people up with me. And then when they're doing well, they bring people up with them. When they're doing well, they bring people up with them. We need this. I was talking to a sister the other day. Well, I talk to people, man, woman, all of them at the same time. But she mentioned Marcus Garvey, and the Garvey is the stuff Garvey was asking is still pertinent today, 100 years later. 100 years later, and I can't play these games. 100 years later, we still playing the same game. That sounds stupid to me. Right? Garvey said, "Why we don't work together? Well, we not. What's our problem? We want to work together." And I took his question seriously, like I take all questions seriously. And I thought about it, and it came to me that we don't trust each other. We don't. We have now been given a reputation because others. Let me tell you that first of all. Others run our reputation. We almost not even included in our own reputation. We don't set it up. Others set it up. So others have set it up to where we are told, and others are told, that we are liars. Ain't no trust in that. If I can't trust you, I can't, unify with you. And the unity is there. It's not there, because I can't trust you. And the thing we lost, the thing that Garvey was asking for, is what did we lose that everybody seems to have, even dogs, whatever, animals that are in unison, have the similarities and shit. They all seem to hook up, except us. We hook up for a while and then we fight each other like crazy. There's no value in it. And the whole thing came down to the fact that we were told that we are liars, and we've inculcated that. Just like we were told we are thieves, I think that's the way it's thieves, and we've inculcated that and started stealing. It's not in our nature to steal. We'll steal what? Nature. It's not in our nature to steal because our nature is in nature. In nature, you don't have to steal. Only in this phony shit you have to steal. Because they're stealing. And if you don't steal and they steal, it's so crazy. But in nature, we don't steal. We don't even lie. Nature don't lie either. We have to be with nature in order to exist. Otherwise, we just die out. So I don't know. I've been not avoiding. I just didn't have no inclination to say much to people because it's a lot of fighting and anger and malice. I don't want to deal with all that anger and malice. I really don't. I don't even want it in my life. If my life is 10 seconds, I don't want to spend none of them 10 seconds. Because life is short, I'm telling you. Even though I'm older, I guess I'm older. It's still only been like 10 seconds. This shit is really short. For real, for real. And I got 10 seconds. I ain't going to spend none of it in no misery. None of it in no fight. Over what? Nature will sort everything out. There's nothing for us to fight about. As long as we stay in nature, everything works out. Our biggest, as far as, colored people of the world, the whole world, our biggest problem is that we have no problem as long as we stay in nature, as long as we stay tethered to nature. Not no God and all that crazy stuff. They got you tethered to God. Life ain't gonna be real good. You might have things. I ain't talking about things. I'm talking about the enjoyment of being. The enjoyment of being. Do we have that anymore? The enjoyment of being. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what Garvey was talking about. The enjoyment of being. We've allowed ourselves to be cast into a spell of misery. And it's a spell. It's not real. We're not really miserable. It's a spell. We've been cast into a spell of thinking backwards. We actually think backwards. Nature thinks in a direction, and that's what I'm talking about. Nature moves in a certain direction. However, we think in the opposite direction. And so it's difficult for us to get things done. We're thinking in the opposite direction that life is actually moving. We're thinking opposite. We think life is treating us or making things. We're making life. Stop living right now. It won't be no more life in you. We make life. Life don't make us. We make life. We're being tricked into thinking life make us. But it don't. We make life. You can make life do whatever you want it to do right. Start now. We think backwards and we think we're being treated instead of realizing we are creating this. We're making it all happen. It can't happen without us. Die. See if it, I mean, let me ask you something. Because I hear people talking about it now. It's a big talk on the talk in the minds of the people. Let's deal with this thing, this thing. Let's deal with a thing called slavery. Let me ask you something. Can you enslave a dead person? I mean, I don't know. But they're dead. I don't know. So you have to give it life. You have to give it. Without life, slavery is dead. Don't give it no more life, man. You keep giving it life. You, in order to run your place, in order to be your own man, you have to first grow into a man. And what a man is, you have to first get that knowledge about what an adult is. An adult is responsible. If you're not, I mean, when you're not going to be responsible, like, oh, the government doing this, you ain't being responsible. Oh, I don't know who I'm going to vote for because he ain't doing it. See, you ain't being responsible. An adult is responsible. That's the first part of adulthood is to be responsible. If you ain't responsible, what the hell are you doing? You can't say, oh, he's responsible. I mean, you could do that, but that ain't being an adult, you know. So I've been attempting to speak with some of the talking heads that I see around. I've been attempting to get an angle that I can approach the most people at the same time. And the only thing I see right now is truth. Without truth, we are lost. And we have been lost a long time. People been looking for truth in the past. I'm going to tell you for real, don't look there. Waste your time not. There's no truth in the past. I don't mean that exactly. What I mean is there's no truth in history. Yeah, there's no truth in history. I don't mean in the past. Of course, truth is forever. So truth, past, future, whatever, it don't matter. Truth is always existing, but not in every place. Because in the history, truth has already vacated, and truth maintains its presence in the present. There ain't no truth of the future because it doesn't exist. You know, of course, the future doesn't exist. It never has. There's always only now. The past is a memory. Your memory, somebody else's memory, doesn't really matter. My memory, it's all past. If you go back like 10, what is this, 10 minutes or something? 19 minutes, wow. 19 minutes, and you go back and look at it at 10 minute spot, and you say, oh, that was the past. It passed through there, sure. But the thing that passed through there is already gone, so the past don't really exist in it's just a location or reference point. But ain't no truth in it. Truth is in the present. You don't have to look nowhere. You don't even have to look outside yourself to know truth. Truth resides in you because truth is. I think that's, I'm going to just say I think. I have learned as a result of meditation, and I have learned or realized as a result of just contemplating life, that we are it. We are it. Yeah, we are it. We are life. We are the creation. We are the creator. You, me, the lamppost, everything is part of the creation. And the creator is busy creating all the time. The creator didn't create. See, that's what I mean by we are taught to think back. We're taught to think backward. We're taught that the creator created. Look how silly this is. The creator created, and then he went to sleep somewhere. Took a hiatus. And then he just left and said, fuck it, I'm out of here. See, that's some, I don't know. You know, you're told that stuff when you're a child. It's okay. I was told a lot of stories when I was a child. And then when you become an adult, you recycle that stuff in an adult perspective, from a responsible adult perspective. And in contemplation, we realize that the Creator is constantly creating. There's no outside of that. The next moment, however you see the progression of your life and life, the Creator is creating that as it goes along. None of that is set. You being part of the creation and the availability of what we have in this creation, because I mean, okay, this is a widget. Okay, so its part in the creation is kind of set. Inert things, they kind of set. But because we are living things, and then we have thought process, we create, we make, we don't create. Well, we make things and we get ideas from the Creator about what to actually physically do because we're working. Our biggest job, our biggest input is we are working for the Creator. We've forgotten all of that. We got lost. We think we're working for GM or ABC or McDonald's. We think we're working for them. We know we are working for the Creator because the Creator uses us as part of the creation to create things. You think that light bulb just gonna jump up by itself? We are part of the creation. We're creating things. And we've gotten away from that. We've lost our connection with the Creator. We have gotten, oh man, that's the biggest part of what's going on. We've lost our essence, our bond. Word is bond. And that's what they call when a person, I'm saying historically speaking, a bond is the thing that binds you. And so when we're not bonded to each other, that's what Marcus Garvey was saying. Others are bond to one another, and we are not bonded. In truth, you say word is bond. That means our word is bond. You can count on it. And when that fails, we are no longer bonded. And unbonded people are easy to enslave. It's a done deal. They're unbonded. You get the Chinese, it don't matter who. You can get a fucking, excuse me, a group of dogs or cats, rabbits, mosquitoes, whatever. They are unbonded. They're not gonna work together. They don't trust each other. It's not gonna happen. That's what bonding is about. We are bonded to one another. The marriages that we have are not bonded. We don't even know marriage is a contract. It's a contract. All of our thing is a contract. Now I hear people talking about a social contract. And I say, hey man, our culture is our social contract. But we don't have a social contract with one another. Somehow we miss over that. I don't know how it happens. But I'm talking with a guy, a colored guy, and we're talking woman, guy, and we're talking, and we're using words like we and this and that. And then I find out their we ain't the we that I got. My we is us, the colored people of the world. Their we is fluctuating. Because sometimes it's over there and sometimes their we is over here. So I don't know what they talk about when they say we. And this is not bonding. So we have all this confusion, we have all this argumentation, because we're not bonded. And in truth is where we find the bonding. So, word is bond. Let me make sure I understand what you're saying. You say, yeah. Now we both got the contract. We both understand the contract the same. Now we both going to sign that contract and bond ourselves. And then that's all we doing here. That's all we need to do. And we've done here. We can just start living from there. It's like, because we think backwards, we think we got to do something, and then we'll think something. That's not how it goes. You got to think something, and then you do something. That's how it really goes. So, yeah, when this happens, then I'll be able, no. When you think, then you'll be able to. The happenings are happenings all the time. The Creator is happening, cousin. Things are happening so fast, you have no idea. It's moving so damn fast, I can see why people look over it and try to ignore it and stuff. What's really happening? Because it's immense. It's out of, there's no way to wrap nobody's brain around it. And so, yeah, I'd rather think, you know, some God created all of this, whatever this is, when I'm born, because that's all you got to deal with, you know what I mean? Whatever exists when you are born, some God created it, and then he went to sleep, and I got to deal with what's still here. I ain't got nothing else. Ain't nothing else coming. It's just what's here, and you gotta. If he get too much, I ain't gonna get enough. And all that. See, it's craziness. It's insanity, and it's actually proved itself out to be insanity when you just look at it. Because okay, I'm understanding. Maybe 50 years ago, it was 6 billion people on the planet. Now it's 7 billion people. So apparently, more came from somewhere to supply themselves. But maybe, if there's 6 billion people, well, I gotta hide this. I gotta keep this from, because it ain't enough. And then now it's 7 billion, and it must be enough because it's about to be 8. You get me? So the Creator is constantly creating everything we need. All we have to do is stay in our bond with the creation. And our bond is simple. This thing here. There are many uh, indications of our true occupation as beings in this life arena. One of the indications, a major, is our ability to communicate a lot of information. We have the ability to communicate more information than you can even dream of. From one to the next, a dog may bark, and you might be able to extrapolate 20 interpretations, 25, 100, who cares? But when we make sounds, there are billions, trillions of interpretations possible. of the sound, like I'm speaking words here. However, taken out of context and put into a different linguistical grouping, those words mean something totally different. And in some cases, they mean the same. Billions. We're in this. We should pretend, if nothing else, we should pretend like we're in it. Not like we're playing somebody else's game, but like we're playing the game. I call it a game. People say life ain't no game. Yes, it is. You come in the game, you play for a while, and then you get out. If it ain't a game, it's like a pool. You go to the pool, you get in the water, you play around, you swallow some water, you get sick, yeah, whatever. You go through changes, and then you get out of the pool. That's all that. There ain't nothing else happening here. That's what I mean by we thinking backwards. We think we're here to be miserable. Oh, life ain't no game. And we watch others pretend to be happy. And we get more miserable instead of saying, damn, he happy. I might as well be happy too. Shit. You know what I mean? That's how I play it. Because that happiness, as I said before, many times, 1,000, it don't matter. Happiness is a decision. Cousin, I guarantee you, it's easier to be happy than it is, what did it say, to get money or be rich or something like that. It's easier to just be happy. Because you could be happy right this second. You could make that decision. Fuck it, I'm happy. And be happy. Do it. I suggest you try it. While I'm on here talking, just say, hey, you know what? Nigga, right. I'm going to make a decision to be happy. And just make that decision. Because guess what? Everything is going to be what it is anyway. Whether you're happy, miserable, fucked up. I see people in the movies and stuff, and every now and then in real life, begging, oh, please don't kill me. Hey, listen, if a guy got a gun to your head, he didn't kidnap you up into Wooga Wooga land and stuff, and now you're begging him not to, come on. Yeah, I'm saying this. We have the authority of being, meaning we make, we have the authority of making things happen. We know we have the ability. Apparently, we haven't given ourselves the authority. So, or recognize the authority. So I'm going to help you to do that. Recognize the authority was given to us, is given every moment that we breathe. That is the authority. I yet live. As long as I'm living, there you go. Anything else, you're giving it away. Any authority you think you do not have, you are giving it away. Realize that and watch what you do with it. Sometimes I give authority to people, especially elders. I just let them do their thing. I try not to get in their way when I disagree with them. Did you hear me? I try not to get in their way when I disagree with them. Oh. I definitely don't waste my time in trying to insult them. Why? Because guess what? They are me. I am them. We are each. That's the thing about creation. Okay. That's the thing about how we think. And I say we think backwards. And we've been taught to think backwards. We've been taught to live backwards. Right? We've been instructed, coerced, corralled And I say that as a people. Well, don't say we, 'cause I ain't in it. Ah, yeah, I think about that sometime, And I could say, oh, well, I'm free. I ain't in it. I got the, and this and that. Yeah, that sounds good. But I heard a story about a woman that found the biggest diamond on on Earth up until about 2000 or something. They found a bigger one. But she was a little colored woman in Brazil who was in a situation where the society she was in, the little box of society she was in, had her in a position of slavery. Enslaved as such, when she found this big ass diamond, about big as my head, she it was she was robbed of it by someone saying that they were her slave master and whatever she owned, they owned. And they took it from her. Consequently, they gave it to the Queen of England, the King of England, the monarch, let's just say monarch of that group of people. You know them people still running a dynasty. Their dynasty right now is over 2,000 years old. That's the dynasty. Well, they say it's over 2,000. It might be two. I think it might be. What, 2,000? It might be. Yeah. That's their dynasty. Because the dynasty of, what's this place I was just talking about? England it's a continuation of the dynasty of Rome. Very little of the bloodline of Rome is throughout the people, because the people are kind of fresh people, but you know, they sent their dynasty over there to live in, in a new environment or a different environment. And then they're sending it somewhere else too next time. It'll be somewhere relocated. But Rome, as they say, fell, and it moved to another location. Most of these places that even our people, they say our people fell. We all disjointed and stuff. But our government, our I don't want to say I say in hierarchy, but in the system, the structure of existence still exists. We're just not bothering with it. It still exists. Our our our, uh, our ancestry, our story still exists. We just don't bother with it. We go and study what his story says about us. But our story still exists. I'm gonna just make a suggestion here. Okay, I hope y'all don't mind. I'm gonna make a suggestion. I suggest that when you're not going to go by our story, go by their story. And by their, I mean more than his. Because, there is a plural of his, of him. Go by their story. Go by, what I mean by that, go by the Chinese. Find out whatever the Chinese got to say about you. Find that out. Find out what the Japanese got to say, the Indians got to say about you. Find out what the Turks got to say, the Arabs got to say. Find out what everybody here got to, the French, the German, the Russian. Find out what everybody got to say about you. If you're going to listen to other people and what they say about you, don't limit it to a one people. Or the English say here, or the American government. No, don't sit on that. That's foolishness. That's not being an adult. Get you about 4 or 5 perspectives. If you're not going to go, when you're not going to go and find your own story, because it exists. When you are not going to go and find your own system, because it exists, you ain't even got to go nowhere. It exists. We just not doing it. We doing somebody else's system. And then it appears in all physicality that our system does not exist. Oh, we ain't got no system. See, we ain't got no power. Man, I'd be ready to hit them up. We got great power. Next time you see a nigga talking about we ain't got no power, I can guarantee you something. In his mind, he's black. Redacted. Any nigga say we ain't got no power. His mind is redacted. His whole thing is just black. Black, they done blacked out all the parts of his mind. All the parts of his working, all the part of his being has been blacked out. And now all that's left is that narrative to think backwards. Of course, ain't nobody black. You notice, I'm going to tell you something. Watch this, because I do math. And this math ain't mathing. In math, you can only math a group, if you put them in parentheses and groups and shit, things that have a commonality that can be used throughout the numbers similarly. All right, so what I mean by that. If you say 1, 2, 3, any amount of numbers, but then we call them numbers. If you say ABC or any amount of alphabet, however you put it, in whatever language, we call that alphabet or something of that nature, letters. Okay, let's just say letters. Numbers and letters. Not alphabet, but numbers and letters. All right. Now, when I say 7, 8, G, and I pretend that they are the same, you can't go with that. The math won't math. Because 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 8 is 24. But what is 7 times G? 3 times G. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 7 is 21. But 3 times G, what is that? We can't do no math there, dude. So check it out. I know you went all the way here? Yeah, I went all the way here because I'm saying something mathematically, and it should be easy to figure this shit out. You got white people, white. You got black people, black. Then you got Chinese. The math ain't mathing. White, I see. It's a color. We agree? Black, I agree. It's a color. We agree. But it's Chinese, ain't no color. That can't be in the set. That's like G. In a set of numbers. What the fuck just happened? And we go with that like it makes sense. That shit don't make no sense, man. The math ain't math, and dude, check it out. That's why when people say, hey, black people, I say, hey, black shit ain't in that. That's part of what's the whole deal. Thinking backwards and redacted. I really found that word redacted. I'm going to use it, man, because that's exactly what's going on. We have allowed ourselves, and of ourselves, and now we doing it to ourselves, redacting. It's in the pressions. There's a list of pressions in the psychology realm. One is called, everybody knows it, depression. Okay. But depression don't work by itself. It's just, I'm just depressed. No, you ain't just depressed. Depressions work in a system. That's what I'm saying. We know all this in our system. We can do all this. But in their system, you're lost, man. But okay, like this. If you're depressed, then you got to understand something. In order to be depressed, first of all, you must be impressed. Because in order to make a firm and lasting or a firm and, you know, definite depression, you must at the same time make the identical impression. Not only that, depression, all of these are depressions. Depressions go like this. There's suppression. Suppression, self, whether you do it, suppress yourself, someone else is suppressing you. Suppression leads to, okay, suppression leads to depression. When you're constantly suppressed, you get depressed. Then depression, long enough, will lead to repression. Repression is where you suppress yourself. When the initial victim of suppression is depressed enough, that victim will begin to repress. Repress, which means suppressing oneself and others. That's why we beat, as little colored people, we beat our little children. 3, 4 years old, 2, 3 years old, we beat them. There's absolutely no intelligence in that. That's absolutely thinking backwards. Abso-fucking-lutely thinking backwards. That you can't, man, when I'm like, ooh. That's why I stay away from people. I'll kill a motherfucker. And I'll do it so fast, and this is how we do on a regular. This is what we accept on a regular as. Oh, this is our culture. This is our black culture. You redacted ass motherfuckers. and then what? And then what? You didn't beat up a little 2-year-old child. What the fuck over what? I'm trying to get past this because I don't see anybody could talk to me about, oh, we trying to help our people, la-di-da, the rest of that stuff, and they approve of that. Alone is enough. The things we do to our children is like, and then they're traumatized, mesmerized. And they just fucked up. Just, you can say all them fancy words, but it's just still mean now they fucked up and we fucking them up. We lie to them. We lie to our own children. We make our bond to our children the biggest bond, the strongest bond available in life. And we break that bond. We lie to our children. We lie to our children, about our children, on our children. Cousin, speak truth all the time. Just do it. Make a decision to be happy right the fuck now. And for the rest of your life, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be happy the rest of my life. You see all of this? That's why I put it to the side, because I'm happy for the rest of my life. And I know, I say that because I want to keep myself from doing certain things so I don't be around people. But I'd be happy killing a motherfucker that's beating a 2-year-old child. I'd be just as happy, I'd be smiling all the way through it. And if they beat me, more power to them. But I'm going to bring the game and be happy doing it. So, yeah, Because I'm stopping myself, I'm suppressing myself. I'm in repression. That's why I always say we, man. There is no way out. That's what I was saying about the woman that found the big ass diamond, big as my head. They did give her. The queen told the guy, well, who, blah, blah, blah. So they gave the woman in an enslaved society now, where they're enslaving people based on race. That they call it race. When you're so dark, they got these little deals about it, whatever. When you're brown like me, they say, that's a slave. In the 18 something, I think it was 1819 in the United States, as it was in 1819, which is not what it is today. Remember what I'm telling you. In 1819, Louisiana was not part of the United States, nor was Texas, Mississippi, all of that bullshit, okay? You got to remember this, how this shit actually, the past, not the history, but the past. Okay, so now, they said every nigger can be enslaved, period, the fucking end, unless he's represented by a cracker, which means he's already enslaved. A Christian cracker, they say. Oh, they said they were specific, a Christian cracker. Because they didn't want a Jewish cracker, whatever might have been around, I don't know. But they were specific in the law itself, so I'm going to be specific as the law speaks. A Christian cracker. They say a Christian white man. And they were specific about white man, too, because at the time, white women couldn't function in the political arena, social arena in that fashion at all either. I mean, shit ain't new. Y'all act like it's new. Y'all act like this shit is new. This shit ain't new, and it ain't old. Just, a couple of fucking grandmothers ago. My grandmother, her grandmother, her grandmother. Bada bing, bada bong. We didn't reach the end of this song. Because 1819, there was free niggas walking around everywhere. Not in such abundance, but existing. Enough that the dude wrote in the comment on Dred Scott decision in the United States. I'm talking about, because I've said, everybody knows, as America goes, so goes the world. That's been forever. That didn't just start with the United States. That didn't just start with them recognizing. It was already happening before they came. Check it. They tell your name. See, let me tell you a name. Let me tell you a name like Aztec. What the fuck that mean? Where did that come from? And are we even saying it correctly? We don't know. They just gave us a name. Like, let's get here. I got another name. Mayan. What the fuck that mean? Where it come from? We don't know. They just gave us a name. But we go and look at the stuff, and and they got photographs of the stuff, and we go, because we don't know what the stuff is or what the name is. They telling us a story. They got that one story over here, 5 stories over here. We don't know. So, to me, I don't bother. I deal with now, because this I know. What happened so many years ago, and they talking about 50. I'm going to ask you something. This is like stupid. They're talking about 50 million years ago. See, that's just crazy. And you know what? I see grown, what they like to call themselves. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm a whatever. I see them entertaining that foolishness. They not only entertaining it, but believing it. Not only believing it, but teaching it to our children. It's foolishness. No one, absolutely no, and they tell you all the time that they can't do that shit. For real, it's just a guess. They just throwing out numbers. They tell you all the fucking time. But I see these grown ass men, they not only believe it, they teach it, they think it's true, and they teach it to our children. I'm about to slap somebody. The fucking pimp slap everything. You done lost your fucking mind. And then teach that to our children. But that's perpetual slavery. Now you come into a cultural realization where you are teaching your own children stupid shit because you're a slave to keep them fucked up and enslaved, and then they'll teach their children the same crazy bullshit. Meanwhile, the cracker goes about saying, "Oh, the Sphinx is, it was built about 15, maybe 1,000 years ago, or 5 even." I've heard all kind of numbers. And then they say, wait a minute, we got to back up. They just said that in the last few years or something. We got to back up because why? We find that our carbon dating or whatever it was wrong. And it's actually older than we thought it was. So what that mean? That mean that bullshit they telling you is bullshit that they are telling you. They telling you is bullshit. But you, see what I mean? I say our people because I can't get out of that. That's what I was saying about the woman that found this big old ass diamond as big as my head. Her reward, as it were, they gave her freedom papers, her bond papers, saying that she ain't no slave. In a society where every nigger is a slave, just by sight. They gave her a piece of paper saying she ain't no slave. And they gave her a pittance, a little bit to live on every month, every year, maybe. I think it was seven silvers a year. A pittance, a pith, I don't know where it come from, but a little something. I think now they still call it pittance, but retirement pay or something like that, I don't know. But anyway, that's what they gave her in a society that is run by recognizing a person as a slave by their appearance. So that paper was like nothing. In New York, a colored dude, when they had telephone booths, he was a cop with the crackers, but he was like a detective cop. And so he didn't have on a uniform. And the uniform cops thought he was just a nigger. They beat his ass out of that telephone, because he was in the telephone booth. In his mind, only he was a cop. So he's like behaving like a cop. Hey man, I'm on the thing, and they telling him, nigga, get out of here. Do what we telling you, nigga, shit. And he's like, no, but he ain't say no. He said, I'm a cop. I'm a this, I'm a that. He trying to tell them what they don't see. They dragged his ass out of the thing, the phone booth, and beat him up. Because that's what they do to niggas. Dred Scott said that in the commentary. Please read it, everyone. Crackers, Chinese, anybody. Everybody, please read the commentary on the Dred Scott decision, United States. I want the whole world to read it. The man says in there, without no hesitation, no reservation, he says in there, white people in this country are not ready, or they are not prepared to see a nigga, any nigga, walking around in the streets free and unmolested. Free and unmolested. No. My nigga, Napoleon was willing to sacrifice all of France in order to send troops down to fuck with Haiti. He said in his notes, which are still available. I want the world to read it. The shit's still available. I just said about Dre Scott. You can Google this shit. Takes about 15 seconds, man. You ain't wasting your time. Less than a minute you could have found what I'm talking about. And all over the world, I want everybody to read it. And then tell me something, because Giuliani just made a law that everybody has to write along, like the dude did with the Dre Scott. He calls it stop and frisk, a.k.a. no nigga can walk around free and unmolested. Have you ever been frisked, whatever the fuck that word is? It means molested. Just go through your shit and just go through your shit like you ain't shit. Go all up in your ass. Look, I'm molested, motherfucker. I want the world to know. Y'all be talking that bullshit. You fucking Ukrainians, palace. Well, my mother, fuck you. Know this. Come to me with reality and we'll come back with the same reality. I want all the niggas to know, because y'all don't know. And now you just passed the bill just 10 minutes ago. Stop and frisk. In your lifetime. Don't tell me about, oh, that's in the past. That's in history. That's in the past. The past is now. Nigga, I've been saying that. Fuck history. The past is now. You see, in your lifetime, you've experienced the whole thing I just said that they did in the Dred Scott comment. And they were doing it at the same time, saying every nigga is a slave. Hey, you lived through that. You're living through it. I mean, not you have lived. You are living right now in that. Not through that, in it. You're up in it. Recognize it for what it is. That's all I'm saying. And then deal with it. We got this when we recognize it for what it is, as long as we, thinking backwards and, trying to make shit ain't be what it is. Nah, yeah, well then that's a problem. I say, it's an issue, it's a condition. We've been heavily conditioned. There's all kind of records of their conditioning. And I mean, come on, man. Every time I mention the Tuskegee experiment, I'm thinking like everybody ought to be done. Don't make me pick out no more examples, because you don't need no more. And they doing it now. They still experimenting on us and our children and stuff. So if you don't know that, I don't know what to tell you, man. A lot of these, hey, a lot of these guys that we listen to, talk to, I hear talking, most of them were taught by crackers. Either when they weren't watching or something like that or whatever, it don't really matter. All I'm saying is we have to get ourselves to see that we have a system of understanding with the Creator, and we are creating this mess ourselves. No one has us in a mind except us. All we have to do is decide and step out. It's just that simple. And you know what? It really is. Decide to be happy. Decide. You have to decide. You have to make grown people decisions now. You're an adult. Make these decisions on these specific topics and issues. Decide to be happy first. The first decision. No more misery for me. I don't care what happens. I cut my throat, whatever, I lose my car, my job, all that shit all at once. I'm just be happy. Fuck it. All that shit could happen today, and I'm still gonna be happy. You know why? Because I'm working in sync with the Creator, and the Creator may need that shit to move out of the way. And because I understand that, and the shit is being moved out of the way, I am still happy because why? I know things are moving. But when I think things are happening to me outside of me and the Creator, goddamn, then okay, yeah, I'm gonna be miserable like a fuck. Anybody would. Come on, man. I'm telling you, that's why I'm telling you what's happening. All you gotta do is look and see what's happening. You don't have to read a bunch of books. You don't have to do a lot of meditation and shit. The meditation is just so you can get in tune to the fact that your heart is beating, and when it stops, it's over. Just that simple. And then the meditation say, look, man, I'm alive. I better get in this game. Because this is gonna stop at some point. You get me? So get in the game, enjoy the game, be happy, make that decision to be happy, and then move forward, right? Make a decision to understand that the past, not history, but the past is actually happening now. Look at what's happening now. Don't look at no box. Don't listen to a lot of news, serious news. Yeah, and today, no, fucking listen to funny news. Listen to, jokes and shit like that. Because people talk about the same thing, only in a joking manner. That way you don't take it seriously and you don't get upset. Like in the news, they're trying to scare you all the time. The news will tell you immediately when a lot of people die, but they won't tell you ever how many people were born. 16 people died today, and they won't tell you 37 people were born today. Same city, same place. No. They're not going to report the happy, man. They ain't into that. Ain't no money in that for them. There ain't no control in that. They need to keep you scared. There's two books. One by Machiavelli and one by Sun Tzu, The Book of War. Both of them talk about war. As a matter of fact, the 48 Laws of War, whatever, that talk about war too. And in these books, they laud, forget how to spell that, Laude, I think. Anyway, they big up fear. You can control people with fear, that's for sure. And the dumb people or insecure people, you can control them even better with fear. However, there's another book, not the Book of War. It's called the Book of Peace. I think it's still written by Sun Tzu, though. The Art of Peace. One is called The Art of War. One is called The Art of Peace. Read The Art of Peace. See what it says. Find it first. I dare you. Then read it. But anyway, the thing goes like this. We have everything we need. We do not have everything we want because our wants are being directed by forces outside of us. You with me? Okay. We have everything we need. This is apparent because your heart is beating, you're living, you're alive, and probably, because most of the time, things are going well. Most of the time. Oh, we have our worries. Ain't talking about bullshit. That's bullshit. All that's in your head. But at the moment, right this second, most of us are doing okay. We're not in great pain, all that kind of stuff. You get me? The rest of the shit is in your head. Oh, I lost my job. Oh, the bay, that's all that shit in your head. But in reality, we're doing fine. And that's how life is. So decide to be happy. Decide to live now. Now, I suggest, and I'm going to really be honest with you, I suggest not spending 10 seconds on history. I read stories, I read books. Okay. I watch movies. Okay. You want to do that, you're going to get screwed. If you take it as reality of the past, you have to just take it as a story. Oh, there's a story. Oh, that's his story or his story. There used to be a thing came on TV called something anyway. But the opening statement was, it was the Naked City. You might look that up on YouTube. It might be on YouTube. I don't know. It's called the Naked City. The Naked City used to open up with the guy saying, there are a million stories in the Naked City. This just happens to be one of them. That's a beautiful thing. Huh? We have to understand that's what's really happening. There are a million stories in history, more than that. But there are a million stories in history. Whichever one you read just happens to be one of them. It is not what happened overall. Overall, it is just one of the stories. There are a million stories in history. Some have been depressed, some died, some unremembered, all kind of things. So I don't waste my time with this. Another story. I don't take it like history in the sense that, oh, this is, no. It's another story. Like, okay, for instance, there's a sailboat of some kind. It's got 15, 20, 35, who knows how many people on it. But they all got a story that's going to be a bit different. But the guy on the top deck and the guy on the bottom deck and the galley and all that kind of stuff, they all got different stories right away from their positioning only. They get different stories. Oh, I got to do like this. Forgot about that. This is the, you see everybody doing like this, and they keep their hands in the game. But this is subliminal. This is subliminal hypnosis, right? So this is right now. I'm doing all of these movements, and I could do them. They don't have to really be in sync with the words I'm using or the way that and that, like now how I did that with the one beat. All of this shit is to get you in simpatico. So yeah, you'll see everybody doing. And I thought about it, I said, I should be, putting my doing these things because these are all gestures and I don't know symbols and shit to keep you. What it does is it fucks with your subliminal back here because your vision captures it. Your sub mind will not leave it. It goes, but your foremind, the one that you think with, will ignore it, right? But your subliminal will capture all of it. It don't separate it. The subliminal don't pick out parts and only zero in on certain. No, your subliminal takes the big picture all the time. But see, when they're doing like this, you can keep your subliminal busy and stuff like that, right? So that whatever's being given to you, you understand, will be driven in because now I'm fucking with you. It's called sleight of hand, or you know, right? You get me? One love. I'm out.